My life was seemingly perfect. From the outside, it appeared that I had it all: a loving husband, a beautiful home, and a close-knit family. I had built a life filled with love, trust, and the belief that my happiness was unbreakable. My husband and I had been married for several blissful years, and our love seemed unshakable. We had overcome challenges together, growing stronger with each trial. And amidst it all, my sister stood by my side, my confidant and partner in crime. But beneath the surface of our seemingly idyllic existence, a storm was brewing. The first hint of trouble came in the form of a subtle change in my husband's behavior. He became distant, often lost in his own thoughts. At first, I brushed it off as the stress of work or a passing phase. But then, a sense of unease settled in my gut. Call it intuition or a sixth sense, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. I observed my husband and sister more closely, sensing an unspoken connection that I couldn't quite grasp. One evening, as I searched for my misplaced phone, I stumbled upon a series of incriminating messages. They revealed a secret I never could have fathomed. The person I trusted most had betrayed me, and the one I held dearest had stabbed me in the back. The shock reverberated through every fiber of my being, threatening to shatter the perfect facade I had built. The pain was indescribable, as if a dagger had been plunged into my heart. My sister, the person I had laughed, cried, and shared my innermost secrets with, had betrayed me in the cruelest way imaginable. Tears streamed down my face as I confronted the harsh reality before me. I was faced with a choice: confront them immediately, or bury the pain and gather the strength to devise a plan. The latter option held a certain allure, a chance to enact a revenge that would make them feel the same anguish they had inflicted upon me. In that moment, my heart hardened and a burning desire for revenge ignited within me. I resolved to keep their betrayal a secret, to bide my time, and to seek the sweetest retribution. Little did they know I was about to become the master of my own destiny, orchestrating a game of revenge that would leave them waiting in anticipation for what was to come. The discovery of my husband's infidelity and my sister's betrayal had shattered the trust and stability I had once known. It was a wound that cut deep, leaving me emotionally raw and lost in a sea of confusion and pain. Yet, despite the turmoil within me, I chose to keep my discovery to myself, observing their deceitful interactions from a distance. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as I silently nursed the pain that threatened to consume me. I became an expert at masking my emotions, wearing a facade of normalcy while turmoil raged beneath the surface. I watched my husband and sister, studying their every move and piecing together the puzzle of their affair. It was a torturous experience, witnessing their acts of betrayal unfold before my eyes. Their whispered conversations, exchanged glances, and stolen moments became a constant reminder of the depths to which they had sunk. The weight of their actions bore down on me, fueling a silent fury that grew with each passing day. Yet, as the anger swirled within me, so did a dark and dangerous desire for revenge. Revenge, the sweetest and most intoxicating elixir, whispered its promises in my ear. It whispered of justice, of making them pay for the pain they had caused. And I, in my vulnerable state, began to succumb to its seductive allure. But revenge is a treacherous companion, a path fraught with its own perils. I knew that indulging in such darkness would change me, tarnish my soul. Yet the need for retribution burned within me, a fire that could not be easily extinguished. It became a delicate dance between succumbing to my deepest desires and maintaining my own sense of integrity. In the depths of my despair, I sought solace in moments of solitude. It was during these quiet times that I would envision the revenge I so desperately craved. I would imagine the looks of shock and regret on their faces, the crumbling of their own perfect facade. These fantasies fueled my determination, igniting a plan to bring them both to their knees. As I plotted my revenge, I became acutely aware of the power dynamics at play. They believed they held all the cards, that they were in control of their own twisted game. Little did they know that I was slowly, meticulously turning the tables, gathering the pieces that would soon reveal their own folly. In the depths of my pain and anger, I harnessed a newfound strength. a strength that would serve as the foundation for the revenge that was to come. It was a strength born of betrayal, a resolve to emerge from the ashes stronger than ever before. And so, I bided my time, gathering my resources and preparing for the moment when I would unveil their secrets and turn their waiting game against them. The stage was set, and they had no idea of the storm that was about to descend upon their lives. Revenge was coming, and its taste would be as bitter as the betrayal they had inflicted upon me. In the aftermath of my shocking discovery, and as I meticulously planned my revenge, I chose to keep my emotions and intentions carefully guarded. It was a time of silent fury, where every interaction with my husband and sister became an opportunity for observation and calculation. I continued to play the role of the unsuspecting wife, hiding my pain behind a smile and participating in everyday activities as if nothing had changed. Inside, however, a storm raged, a mixture of anger, betrayal, and a burning desire to make them pay for their transgression. Every time my husband and sister exchanged words or shared a laugh, my heart clenched with a mix of anguish and rage. I watched their interactions, searching for signs of guilt or remorse, and committing each detail to memory. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the weight of their betrayal bore down on me, threatening to consume my every thought. Yet I resisted the urge to confront them, knowing that patience was key to exacting the revenge I desired. The silence between us became a potent weapon. It allowed me to observe their actions and gauge the extent of their deception. I listened attentively to their conversations, searching for slips of the tongue or inconsistencies that might reveal their secrets. Each passing day, their guilt became more evident, even if they were oblivious to my own knowledge. During this period, I sought solace in solitude, retreating to quiet spaces where I could process my emotions and refine my plan. I turned to trusted friends, journaling, and self-reflection to navigate the treacherous waters of my own anger and desire for revenge. It was in these moments of introspection that I began to question the path I'd chosen. The pursuit of revenge consumed me, blinding me to the potential consequences. I grappled with the duality of my desires, torn between the satisfaction of seeing them suffer and the knowledge that revenge might not bring the closure I sought. In the depths of my silent fury, I found myself questioning the price I was willing to pay for my own vindication. Yet, even as doubts flickered within me, the anger and hurt fueled my determination. I had been wronged, and I craved justice. The pain of their betrayal had left scars that couldn't be easily healed, and the desire for retribution burned with an intensity that couldn't be extinguished. And so, in the midst of my silent fury, I resolved to stay the course. I would keep their betrayal a secret, allowing them to believe they were safe and unobserved. The waiting game was in motion, and little did they know that they were mere pawns in a grand scheme of their own undoing. As the days passed, my silent fury transformed into a cold and calculated resolve. The time for action drew near, and I knew that revenge would soon become a reality. The storm within me gathered strength, and with each passing moment, I grew closer to the moment when their waiting would turn into their worst nightmare. In the midst of my silent fury and the carefully crafted web of revenge, I unexpectedly found solace in the arms of a stranger. His presence offered a temporary escape from the pain that threatened to consume me, and a dangerous idea began to form in my mind. This stranger, with his kind eyes and sympathetic demeanor, became a confidant in my darkest hours. He listened to my anguish, offering a sympathetic ear and words of encouragement. In his company, I found solace and a fleeting sense of happiness that had been absent from my life since the betrayal. As our bond deepened, I couldn't help but be tempted by the notion of seeking solace in his embrace. It was a forbidden desire, a dangerous game that threatened to compromise my pursuit of revenge. Yet in my vulnerability, the allure was difficult to resist. In stolen moments, we shared secret conversations and clandestine encounters, hiding our growing connection from prying eyes. It was in these moments that I found respite from the pain, a temporary escape from the pain, a temporary escape from the reality that haunted me. But as the allure of this newfound connection grew stronger, so did my internal struggle. I questioned the morality of my actions and the path I had chosen. Revenge had been my driving force, the fuel that propelled me forward, and yet this forbidden temptation threatened to derail my plans. I wrestled with my conscience, torn between my desire for revenge and the potential for a new beginning. Could I find happiness with this stranger? Could I let go of the need for vengeance and forge a different path for myself? The answers remained elusive, clouded by the chaos of my emotions. In the depths of my turmoil, I sought counsel from trusted confidants. Friends who had stood by me through thick and thin, offering advice and support. Their wisdom served as a guiding light, reminding me of the importance of self-reflection and the consequences of succumbing to temptation. As I reflected on their words and examined my own heart, I realized that revenge in itself would not bring true healing or closure. It was merely a mirage, an illusion of satisfaction that would leave me hollow in the end. The path to healing required more than just retribution. It necessitated finding peace within myself. With this newfound clarity, I made a choice. I chose to step back from the forbidden temptation and recommit myself to my original plan. Revenge would still be pursued, but with a newfound understanding of its limitations and the need for personal growth. The stranger who had unwittingly become entangled in my web of emotions understood my decision. We parted ways, acknowledging the impossibility of our connection in light of the path I had chosen. It was a bittersweet farewell, tinged with both regret and a glimmer of hope for a different future. As I set aside the temptation and refocused on my pursuit of revenge, a renewed determination burned within me. The path ahead would be treacherous, but I knew that I had made the right choice. Redemption lay not in the arms of another, but within the depths of my own strength and resilience. And so, with the taste of temptation still lingering, I pressed forward, ready to confront my husband and sister with the consequences of their actions. The waiting game was reaching its climax, and the time for sweet revenge was drawing near. With my decision to refocus on my pursuit of revenge, a newfound resolve took hold of me. I knew that I couldn't face my husband and sister alone. I needed allies who understood the depth of my pain and shared my desire for justice. And so, I formed an alliance fueled by shared betrayal, united in our quest for sweet vengeance. I reached out to a trusted friend, someone who had witnessed my pain and stood by me through it all. Together, we shared our stories of heartbreak and plotted the downfall of those who had wronged us. It was in this shared vulnerability and desire for retribution that our alliance was solidified. With our sinister alliance intact, we carefully devised a plan to bring my husband and sister to their knees. We pored over every detail, strategizing each move with precision. We were no longer victims. We had become architects of our own revenge, determined to teach them a lesson they would never forget. Our plan was cunning, designed to lure them into a web of deceit from which they could not escape. We played upon their egos and desires, crafting scenarios that would expose their true nature and leave them vulnerable to the consequences of their actions. It required careful orchestration, manipulating their trust and exploiting their weaknesses. We planted seeds of doubt and suspicion, sowing the seeds of their own destruction. They believed they were in control, that they were orchestrating their own revenge, but little did they know that the tables were turning and they were unwittingly walking into our trap. As our plan unfolded, we reveled in the power shift. The torment and heartache they had once inflicted upon us now consumed them. The balance of power had shifted, and they were left reeling, forced to confront the repercussions of their choices. In their suffering, they finally began to grasp the magnitude of their betrayal. Regret and remorse gnawed at them, eating away at the facade they had carefully constructed. The weight of their actions pressed down upon them, and they realized the gravity of the pain they had caused. The alliance that had brought us together grew stronger with each passing day. We provided support and strength to one another, sharing in the satisfaction of seeing our plan come to fruition. Our unity served as a reminder that we were no longer victims but survivors, taking control of our own destinies and seeking justice for the wounds inflicted upon us. But amidst the satisfaction of our revenge, a question lingered. What now? As we watched them suffer the consequences of their actions, we found ourselves at a crossroads. Were we content with their torment, or did we seek something more than vengeance? In the depths of our souls, a glimmer of compassion emerged. Revenge had consumed us, but we understood that it could not define our future. We had a choice: to revel in their suffering or rise above the bitterness and seek a different path. As we contemplated our next steps, our alliance stood as a testament to our resilience and strength. Together, we would navigate the aftermath of our revenge, supporting one another as we sought redemption, healing, and the possibility of a brighter future. The alliance forged in betrayal had become a beacon of hope, guiding us through the darkness towards a new chapter, one in which we would reclaim our lives, rebuild our hearts, and find solace in the power of forgiveness. As the wheels of our revenge continued to turn, the time had come to set the trap for my husband and sister. Every move we made was carefully calculated, every detail meticulously planned. We knew that the key to their downfall lay in their own arrogance and belief that they were in control. To lure them further into our web of deceit, we strategically planted breadcrumbs, carefully manipulating their perceptions and exploiting their weaknesses. We played upon their desires and egos, knowing that their own greed would blind them to the trap that awaited. Through anonymous messages and orchestrated encounters, we painted a picture of opportunity and temptation, a chance for them to indulge in their desires and fulfill their darkest fantasies. Little did they know that each step they took towards these illusions only brought them closer to their own undoing. The tension grew as they fell deeper into our carefully crafted charade. They believed they were orchestrating their own revenge, completely oblivious to the fact that we held all the cards. We watched from the shadows, savoring the moment when their anticipation would turn to despair. With every passing day, our plan grew more intricate, leaving no room for error. We coordinated our actions with precision, ensuring that each piece fell into place at the perfect moment. It was a delicate dance, balancing the satisfaction of seeing them suffer with the responsibility of holding their fate in our hands. As their anticipation heightened, we reveled in the power shift. They had once held the upper hand, their betrayal leaving us wounded and broken, but now they were mere pawns in our grand scheme of retribution. The waiting game had turned against them, and the stage was set for their inevitable downfall. The trap was poised to spring shut, ready to expose their true nature to the world. The moment of reckoning was drawing near, and we relished the knowledge that they were walking blindly into their own destruction. The thrill of anticipation electrified the air as we prepared to unveil the truth and watch their perfect facade crumble. Our alliance stood firm, our bond fortified by the shared pursuit of justice. We provided support and encouragement to one another, knowing that our collective strength was crucial in the face of the storm that was about to descend upon them. Together, we would witness the fruits of our revenge and lay bare the consequences of their betrayal. As the final pieces fell into place, our hearts beat with a mix of anticipation, satisfaction, and a glimmer of uncertainty. We had come so far, but what lay beyond this pivotal moment? Revenge had been our driving force, but what awaited us on the other side? Only time would reveal the answers as we stood on the precipice of their downfall. With the trap set and the momentum building, we steeled ourselves for the revelation that would shake their world to its core. The waiting was almost over, and the moment of sweet revenge was within our grasp. We were ready to expose their secrets and watch them face the consequences of their actions. As the trap we meticulously set sprung into action, the tables turned on my husband and sister. The anticipation that once consumed them transformed into a mixture of confusion, shock, and mounting regret. They finally began to comprehend the gravity of their actions and the consequences that awaited them. Our alliance stood united, witnessing the unfolding of their downfall with a bittersweet satisfaction. We watched as their perfect facade crumbled, their deceit exposed to the world. The pain they had once inflicted upon us now mirrored in their own eyes, etching lines of remorse upon their faces. Their torment became palpable, and the weight of their betrayal pressed upon them relentlessly. The realization of the pain they had caused us now haunted them, digging deep into their conscience. Regret gnawed at their souls, and they struggled to reconcile their actions with the shattered remnants of their relationships. Through it all, we maintained our composed facade, never revealing our true involvement in their unraveling. We observed their anguish from a distance, knowing that they were experiencing the same torment they had once inflicted upon us. It was a moment of bitter irony, a stark reminder that the web of deceit they had woven had ensnared them as well. In the midst of their suffering, the power dynamics shifted completely. They understood the depth of their mistakes, the irreparable damage inflicted upon their relationships and their own sense of self. The arrogance that once fueled their actions gave way to humility as they grappled with the consequences of their betrayal. As we watched them face the consequences, our hearts swayed between a thirst for justice and a flicker of compassion. Revenge had fueled us, driven us to this point, but witnessing their pain awakened a deeper understanding of the complexities of human emotions. We stood at a crossroads, torn between reveling in their suffering and seeking a path towards healing and forgiveness. In the depths of their turmoil, we saw glimpses of remorse and the potential for redemption. It became evident that their actions were not merely a reflection of their inherent character, but a manifestation of their own brokenness and flaws. The lines between victim and perpetrator blurred, challenging our convictions and stirring within us a desire for something greater than revenge. As they faced the consequences of their actions, we extended a silent hand of support. It was a gesture that transcended the boundaries of our alliance, reaching out in recognition of our shared humanity. In doing so, we acknowledged that the path to healing lay not solely in their suffering, but in the possibility of growth, redemption, and the transformative power of forgiveness. The tables had turned, and they were left to grapple with the shattered remnants of their lives. And we navigated the aftermath of our revenge. We confronted our own choices and the path that lay ahead. It was a pivotal moment where we had to decide whether to let bitterness consume us or rise above the pain and seek a different, more compassionate path. In the aftermath of their downfall and the shifting of power, my husband and sister confronted the price of their betrayal. The consequences of their actions weighed heavily upon them, leaving them to grapple with the wreckage they had caused in their own lives. Regret consumed them, gnawing at their conscience and chipping away at their sense of self. The pain they had once inflicted upon me and our family now reverberated within their own hearts. They were forced to confront the depth of their mistakes and the irreversible damage they had wrought. As they navigated the aftermath of their actions, the wounds of betrayal began to manifest in their relationships with others. Trust, once easily given, became a precious commodity that needed to be painstakingly rebuilt. Friends and loved ones questioned their integrity and struggled to find their place in a world shattered by deceit. The weight of their betrayal extended beyond their personal relationships. The reputation they once held crumbled, tarnished by the truth that emerged. The consequences of their actions rippled through their professional lives, tarnishing their standing and casting a shadow over their accomplishments. Yet amidst the wreckage, there were glimmers of potential redemption. The pain they experienced became a catalyst for self-reflection and personal growth. The realization of the damage they had caused stirred within them a desire to change, to become better versions of themselves. In this crucible of pain and self-examination, they faced a choice. They could succumb to the weight of their guilt, allowing it to consume them and perpetuate a cycle of self-destruction. Or they could seize the opportunity for redemption, seeking to make amends and rebuild the bridges they had burned. For my part, the pursuit of revenge had brought me to a crossroads as well. The satisfaction of seeing them suffer had waned, giving way to a deeper understanding of the complexities of human emotions and the transformative power of forgiveness. I grappled with the possibility of rising above the bitterness and seeking a different path, one that prioritized healing and growth. In their journey towards redemption, I cautiously extended a hand of support. It was a gesture born out of the recognition that we were all flawed beings capable of immense pain, but also capable of growth and change. Forgiveness became a possibility not for their sake alone, but for my own liberation from the burden of anger and resentment. As they faced the consequences of their actions and embarked on a path of redemption, the process was neither linear nor easy. It required sincere efforts to make amends, to rebuild trust, and to confront the underlying issues that had led to their betrayal. It was a path fraught with challenges and setbacks, but one that offered the potential for healing and personal transformation. For my husband and sister, the journey towards redemption was an arduous one. They had to confront their own flaws and the consequences of their actions head-on. It required a deep commitment to change, to actively seek forgiveness and make amends for the pain they had caused. With sincerity and humility, they embarked on a journey of self-reflection and personal growth. They reached out to those they had hurt, acknowledging their mistakes and striving to rebuild the shattered trust. It was not an easy road, as forgiveness is not easily granted nor earned, but they persevered, driven by the desire to right their wrongs and rebuild the relationships they had damaged. As they navigated this path of redemption, they encountered obstacles and setbacks. Some questioned the authenticity of their efforts, while others remained skeptical of their true intentions. But through patience, consistent actions, and an unwavering commitment to change, they began to mend the broken pieces of their lives. In this process, I too grappled with my own journey. The desire for revenge had served as a catalyst, but it was forgiveness that offered the potential for liberation and true healing. I recognized that holding onto bitterness would only perpetuate a cycle of pain and hinder my own growth. As such, I made the choice to embrace forgiveness, not only for their sake, but for my own well-being. Forgiveness, however, did not mean forgetting or dismissing the past. It meant acknowledging the pain, accepting the scars it left behind, and consciously choosing to let go of the anger and resentment that had held me captive. It was a gradual process, marked by moments of doubt and vulnerability, but also by the gradual lightening of the burden I had carried for so long. In the face of forgiveness, we collectively navigated the complexities of rebuilding our lives. Trust was tentatively restored, and relationships were rebuilt brick by brick. The process was a delicate dance, requiring patience, open communication, and a willingness to confront difficult emotions. But with each step forward, the possibility of a brighter future emerged. As time passed, we realized that redemption was not an endpoint, but an ongoing journey. It required consistent effort, self-reflection, and a commitment to growth. We understood that the scars of betrayal would always be a part of our story, but they no longer defined us. Instead, we were defined by our resilience, our capacity to learn from our mistakes, and our determination to become better versions of ourselves.